That was an interesting realization for me.
Dave and Adams, I don't know, let's call it 2016, 17, 18. On Black Friday, I could spend $300 and have a day's worth of stuff to open, and it was well worth the product. You know, it was worth. Now $300 doesn't buy you a box on Black Friday. You're lucky to get. So before, I'd have a day's full of fun on it, and it would be awesome. Now it's at a point I can't do that. You know, it's that game is gone forever, and it's a bummer. It bums me out that I can't. But and you could say poor, but I don't think that's the case. I just think it's a bad place to put my money. That's all.
It's just out of reach for your average collector. It's a huge problem that they need to fix. Tops need to fix that.
And I agree with that, by the way. I actually totally
Gio
agree
or
with
Neo,
that.
how do they fix that?
They don't want to fix it.
Now it's getting interesting.
Yeah, why would you want to?
Why would they want to fix it?
I'll tell you why they want to fix it, because the collector that actually they're losing out on right now is an annuity for this industry. Like, they're the ones that are going to be here long term, and I think if you're not looking after those now, they're not going to be here in 10 years' time.
So can I push back to that?
Yeah, good answer.
Can I push back to that?
That is a good answer.
I think maybe 100% right. Maybe us legacy guys are the ones who are going to carry it. My pushback would be, but the 20-year-olds right now like it, and they're going to be the next generation.
Remember those 20-year-olds, fads come and go.
They're not watching the sport like they used to. They're not collecting it like they used to.
Maybe. That's an assumption. You may be totally right. I don't know. I think they're going where the money is right now. And I think that's what
the money stays, but I just think a lot of it is manipulated. Go ahead, Dan.
They need to be careful on that, right? These businesses need to be very clear in what it is they're doing, that they're going to be comfortable that these people that are the core of their demand right now are going to be here in 10 years' time. Because if they're not...
Can I ask you, Dan?
That's great. I agree with that point.
The same question then, because I asked this and I've asked it seriously, and I've never gotten an answer from any influencer or content guy or from Tops. Jay, name a
Now I'm curious. Let's hear it.
Jay, name a Tops product you think is totally out of whack with price. Just give me one. Don't go on a tirade. Give me one.
Well, I'm more football, basketball. So
give me one. Tops,
but just even the Tops Chrome Blaster at $60. That's
okay. Perfect.
I mean, that's expensive.
Yep, I'm in. No problem. Okay, I'm not even going to argue with you. Tops though, so Tops Chrome Basketball came out on the website at $400 for hobby, $700 for jumbos. The same day, as soon as people locked up their investment, they locked up their boxes. On pre-order, eBay they were selling for 40 to 80% markup. What? And I mean this seriously. I'm not even trying to argue. What should Tops do?
Well, okay, my first question is, I went to Target and I saw a bunch of those blasters there. So are people still, I feel like that game, at least with retail, I know I not hobby because those have the big chases. My argument would be some of their products need to be made more for me, and they don't have that $20,000 card. So people
You're talking a different issue though. Go back to what I just said, because you asked, how do we get prices to be lower? To anybody in the chat, I'm all for it, by the way.
Stop buying. Obviously,
that's not true. Okay, hang on. It's not stop buying, because you have people on multiple platforms buying it and flipping it. So that's also
But could they flip that Tops? Let me ask you a question. I feel like part of the reason they're sitting at the retail's all of a sudden sitting is because breakers can no longer just go buy the retail and rip it on a break.
Fine, but what does Tops do? You're saying what a breaker should do?
Unsealed.
Wait, say that again now. Explain.
Sell the product that's not sealed. I think that's the only way you can fix it, right?
So that they can't flip it?
Yes. Yeah.
So how One Piece
the only thing they could do, right?
One
Because anything else they try and do, you're not going to vet every single person buying from you, so you're going to have no control.
First time I've heard a good answer, by the way.
But I think that's the only thing.
Yep, that is the first logical. Now, again, the pushback here would be, for Tops, they have a ton of money invested in a breaking platform, and breakers move a lot of their product. You can hate breakers, I don't care, but that's the truth of it, right? How do you... So, Dan, in that scenario, they sell on the website and
directly to you, and it comes to you.
But that's unsealed. Breakers get their stuff sealed, but they are not allowed to do it anywhere but break it live. So then you can, because you can control the price.
Yep. I don't. My theory for them has always been that they need to funnel everything through Fanatics Live. If I was them and I wanted to maximize revenue, I'd be saying, if you want to be a breaker, you want to be a local card store associated with us, you can only break on Fanatics Live.
What's crazy though, the biggest 5 accounts don't break.
You make the commission. I know, but they can fix that. They have the control. They can fix it overnight. And now that
they're trying to
if they were to do that, that would also give them more control and bring more accountability to the industry as well. Because the second a breaker does something shady, they say, you know what, F off, you're not buying from us anymore. Guess what? You're out of business.
But
Dan, control everything.
In that scenario, though, that would actually be if Fanatics got that involved, that would be a good thing for the hobby then, correct?
I think if it's done right, like you're giving all the power to one entity, that's very scary.
It's terrifying. Yep.
Well, let me ask a question.
There'd have to be things off the back of it, right? That they'd have
I
to
love
have
that
in
answer,
there.
by the way, Dan. I think that would be
Problem is
phenomenal.
the allocation system's busted because the breakers get like a hobby product. We use like Topps Chrome jumbo boxes as an example. They get a larger percentage of the allocation. If they just sold everything to direct to consumer, the box prices would be lower. But they're giving such a high percentage to the breakers, and the way that they manipulate everything with just giving just a couple of boxes on that initial pre-sale direct to consumer, the amount that they put out is so small. They sell out like that.
Yeah.
Neil, what
We have no idea. We have no idea how many
percent.
they're actually putting for sale. It could be $5.
exactly.
Are breakers getting 80%? What are we
No.
looking at here?
They've already said publicly they're getting about 50% of the product. And
Yeah, but
then
I think
hobby
that's
caps
across
about
all
40.
SKUs, not hobby releases specifically. I think they're saying Topps Chrome basketball,
Okay.
all SKUs, 50% are going to the breakers, 50% are going elsewhere. But I think the 50% that's coming to us are blasters and megas and stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah, that would
We're
make sense.
talking hobby
Because
stuff.
their breakdown was 50-40-10. It was I think it was 50-40 breakers, LCS for 40, and then 10% direct.
They were talking at an extremely macro level. They weren't drilling down to an individual product. Like, for example, Sapphire basketball, there's no way that was what the percentage split.
By the way, Sapphire basketball though, none of us breakers got solicited. Very few got solicited for that.
So
At all.
Backyard Breaks had pallets of it.
Sure.
that product went from $1,000 to resale value at $5,000. So how come they can't put a cap on like the percentage that people can resell this product at? And if you're caught reselling it at these massive markups, then you lose your allocation. Why
Because
can't they pull the allocation?
I'll answer that for you right now. You could do it with allocated accounts. Most people, though, it's the same way guys on Whatnot can break gilded 3 days early because there's no recourse. They're not buying direct anyways. How do you go after those guys? But you're right, for people with accounts, absolutely.
I want to go back
restrict
to
the trade there with consumer law, restricting how much you can sell something for, though, with a direct account?
No, MSRP is a pretty standard practice here. I mean, that would be about the same, right?
That's one of the things I've suggested in the past too. Like if you're restricting who you can sell to, if you find out that person is then on selling it, you can, ban them as well or remove them from your list. There's so many levers they can pull that I think will really help with control. The problem is I think the control is going to open up a lot more issues.
The only person I'd scheduled was Vintage Dan, and he's sitting there just listing people. So Vintage Dan, thank you for hanging out, and I'm sorry it turned this is awesome. I mean, this is just great. So
I just wonder how much of this that Gio has discussed is based on his own personal business. I mean, can you come into this objectively and give answers objectively?
I mean, I've asked a question objectively. Like I said, lower prices for me mean I have more audience to sell to. That actually benefits. I mean, I made just as much money in 2017 breaking as I do now.
I'm talking about like the concept that breaking boxes or ripping wax is 99% of the time is a losing proposition. You're better off buying singles. Really?
Yeah. Again, you're talking.
Did you see Chris Sewell did like a whole thing where he went to a store, he bought a whole bunch of different products and different sports. He took them home. He broke down exactly what came out of the boxes, how much he would pay for it as a dealer, and he was getting like 13%.
I mean, it's the worst return of investment.
Yeah, again, though, you guys are
of all time in cards.
Here's my objective view, though. You are only looking at it at ROI, right? Which there's no objection. You're correct. I don't ever say to anybody buy into a break to make money, but you take out. People always tend to minimize the human experience with it. People like being. No, hang on, Jay. It's true. You don't like it. I get it.
No, it's not that I've been there. You end up with boxes of cards that you don't. You end up with boxes and boxes of cards you don't want, don't need.
Just prove my point. You can skip the entire point of I want to be in a room with 100 guys BSing and doing trivia and screwing around and getting a product and having some fun, and I don't make money. You always jump to the beginning and end. I don't disagree.
It's not. Hold on, it's not the beginning or end. I was in the hobby at 12, 10, 15, 16. You don't think I wanted to brew? I opened boxes, but soon you realize, man, I could have went in the card shop and spent $300 on that, or I could have this awesome Steph Curry rookie card. You know what? You go home and you open it and you feel like an idiot because instead of putting a really nice card into your collection, you had some fun for 15 minutes opening a box of cards. That's my experience.
It's a different experience, though, right? So it's a different experience. So they're servicing different things, Jay. So like I was pretty big into breaking like 10 years ago. I think it's a lot of fun, but for me now it's at the price point where I can't even enjoy that anymore because it's too expensive. I think the concern that I have with breaking is not that it's not fun, is that it's been so normalized where that's the only avenue you can get now to open boxes, which is the
That's a problem, by the way. We agree there too. Objectively,
and a lot of the new people
I think that's an
breaking.
issue.
That's what they find. I mean, it's advertised. That's what a lot of how I think it's a entry point for a lot of people at this
Absolutely.
point.
It is, and that's the problem because that's the only way they can get into it now, right? But the call to breaking is what it was 10 years ago, and that's just people getting together wanting to have some fun.
Correct.
So that element is legitimate, and I can understand people still wanting to do that and that being a valid thing to be doing. But the issue is now you've got new collectors coming in, and if they want to rip boxes, that's the only way they can do it, and it's so expensive, and they're going to get skunked. It's not going to end well for anyone, right? So,
and that's a problem, by the way. As a breaker, I will tell you that though. I think breaking has gotten too big in the hobby. I absolutely think that, not only because selfishly it gives me more competition, but I think it's a problem when LCSs can't get more product because guys can break it. But I also am realistic. You like to Jay's point, I want to go home and just rip a box and pull my Steph Curry. That's not a marketable event for a company. A marketable event.
Right. That's right.
Absolutely. I'm realistic. But a marketable event is, oh, look at these 4 guys on camera playing music and having a good time. There's 100 guys in the chat and there's an experience.
And there's a loaded box.
Absolutely. Oh, anytime I can get them, baby. I just tell them to put a Sharpie on it so I can make sure I jack the price up
my way, please.
Send them to me.
It's fun, on the camera. It's not fun in the audience when you're losing money. I mean,
but it is, Dan.
What
Dan,
you're talking about.
You're wrong.
I know.
Eventually, it's not.
I know the experience you're talking about.
Diamond collector, it's not.
I used to be young. You can have the thing where the guys get together and rip packs together and talk about sports and have a great time and throw a few beers back. That's great. I would love to have that again. The problem is that it's $100 a box or $150 a box or $500 a box. Sure. It's not fun anymore.
It's too far gone.
It is for some people, though. It is for a lot of people, or it wouldn't be as popular as it is.
Well,
the numbers don't lie there either.
I think it's popular for the people that are not going to sustain this industry long term.
I also go in those rooms. Those rooms are not thriving.
Well, you go to the wrong room. By the way, you're right. Most
don't have.
Jay, you're absolutely right. But there's a reason most breakers aren't thriving and are not around a long time.
For instance, Pac-Man has what? He's supposedly getting 60,000 views. Going his whatnot break. He has 100 people in there.
Trash.
You know, if that. You know, I mean, what do you say?
Yell at people to buy the break.
Yes, chat's broke. They can't afford $5,000 player spots.
I did have a question
because I need to look after the kids.
Oh, Dan, real quick before you leave, real quick, which I'm so sorry, but I've been wanting to ask this question because Neo, One Piece recently, if you buy a box of One Piece at a accredited store, whatever you want to call it, they'll open it right then and there. You have to take it open now. They're not going to let you leave with it sealed. That's how it's supposed to be. So I just wanted to clarify, Dan, is that what you're saying, or are you saying no seal at all?
I'm saying if like Tops would have it sealed, they'd sell it to me online and it'd come unsealed, or they'd come with the seal broken.
Once it's sold, that seal gets broken.
Yeah, that's how I think about it. Yeah,
I would love to see the amount of sports.
Hey Dan, thank you for showing up. Have a good night, Dan.
Yeah, they would. There's like so many shenanigans as well now. That's a huge problem to fix. But yeah, I need to run. I'll chat to you guys after. Dan, I'll send you another message on Instagram.
Hey now.
The amount of engagement off of, I could already see the posts in Gio's Facebook group of, I bought this jumbo box, Top sent it to me open and pulled out all the good packs and swapped them with bad packs.
By the way, though, Dan's answer there is the only one I've actually heard that I think, you know what? Possible. Because I ask that question all the time.
They're never going to do that. They'll never do that.
They don't want to do it.
But nobody else here had an answer for it.
That was a good answer.
No one ever does. That's always my question. I'd love to hear. I ask it genuinely. But all
right, well, Dan,
I think Neo has an answer. I agree with Neo and what, at least if I understood him right in some of your past videos.
Yeah, it's to me the other answer is allocation. I like Dan the Cardman's answer. I think the root of the problem is how the product is divvied up.
Maybe, but again, as a business, why would you?
I don't disagree.
I know because you got. We want to.
Great story, compelling and rich.
What up, everybody? This is Robert Ory, aka Big Shot Bob, and you're watching Professional Sports Cards. Hey, by the way, go buy my rookie card.